Welcome to Civil Discourse. I'm your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Steve. We're going to give you political perspectives from both sides of the aisle. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm doing well, Wesley. It's nice to see you again.
It's been nice to see you too, man. We've been off for a minute. You guys blame it on me. Steve has been on my back. He said, you know what? We need to get back to work. I said, you're absolutely right, because I haven't been in here dragging you around for quite a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back to it. You know, we got to get back to
leave it to a lefty to be dragging ass on something they want to do.
I don't know about that one. 71% of the GDP of the United States comes from the lefty counties. I mean, let's be honest here. Who's really dragging around here if we want to have that conversation? 71%. We'll
71% of what? Lazy people?
Of the GDP of the United States of America comes from blue counties. Look it up. It's a fact. It says a lot. What about those guys over in? I'm not.
That's because they don't know any better. That's because they don't know any better.
Huh? I don't understand what that means. I'm gonna leave that alone. What do they mean? Who doesn't know any better? What do we say? I'll leave that one alone.
Counties.
That they're producing most of the GDP of America? I don't know. Maybe they do know better. Maybe that means something. What about those guys in Arkansas? All those farmers right now, who I'm very much saddened that they're going through this. Honestly,
or Nebraska.
It's Nebraska too. Arkansas is going through it as well. All these agricultural states are going through it, and that's not good for America. Don't get me wrong. However, these are the same people who voted for Trump, and now they're running into problems because of the tariffs and the prices rising, and their customers falling away from them, like China, who's not buying the soybeans like they're used to. Now these guys are going out of business. People are taking their own lives, which is not a good thing. You don't ever want to see people do that, especially over business, and it's just that's horrible. And that speaks volumes about people who don't truly understand business taking control of business. I don't think he does. When you sit back and we had the same problem last time. Why didn't you put something out there as like a stopgap measure before you did it? You knew this was going to happen again. We spent billions last time bailing these same people out, and you did nothing to even prevent it because you didn't care. But you know whose money you got back? I made you $900 million, didn't I? Got you back your money, didn't I, buddy? Got to have them in the White House. Those are your real friends. You don't care about us, the real people. But hey, let's go ahead and get on with the show. I didn't want to just grill you like that, but this is where we're going today. Cooking. You hear what I'm saying?
Let's go ahead and start. Cooking anything good.
Hey, I know I'm cooking a Republican today. Oh, that was a good one right there.
Hey, you've been waiting to say that one for a while because it's not been good for you for the last few times.
I just made that one. He's gotten me a few times. He has. I ain't gonna say he hasn't. I mean, right now I'm on a roll. All right now, but you guys would have heard us talking. You guys would have heard us talking previous. He had some good ones. It'd be impossible for him to play it like he played it when he said it before, but he has some really good ones. I ain't gonna talk down too much. Trump plays down possible regime change in Venezuela. U.S. deploys stealth fighter jets. The United States is not talking about regime change in Venezuela, President Trump said on Friday, as the United States ordered an additional 10 stealth fighter jets to the military buildup in the Caribbean. We're not talking about that, but we are talking about the fact that you had an election, which was a very strange election, to put it mildly, Trump said, referring to the contested 2024 election. The Venezuelan government says President Nicolas Maduro won. Trump had been asked by reporters about a claim Maduro has made this week that the United States was seeking regime change through military threat. The government of the United States should abandon its plan of violent regime change in Venezuela and all of Latin America and respect sovereignty, the right to peace, to independence, Maduro said on state television. I respect Trump. None of the differences we've had can lead to military conflict, Maduro added. Venezuela has always been willing to converse, to dialogue. Trump demonstrated his new approach to fighting the war on drugs with the U.S. military strike on Tuesday that killed 11 people and sank a boat from Venezuela, which Trump said was transporting illegal narcotics. So let me ask you this question. Let's start off with the whole sinking of this boat that, even though that's not the biggest part of this conversation, but let's start off with that. There was 11 people on board this boat who the government said that, hey, they were carrying drugs on the boat. Not sure what information they had on that, or
okay. So
what intel, but
right there, you just answered your own question. You don't know. You, Wesley, don't know what information that they had to say that they were smuggling drugs on that boat. As soon as you opened your mouth, you ruined your point.
No, I don't think so at all.
The fact is,
I don't think so at all.
The fact is, there is intelligence to say that there are drugs on that boat.
Where?
You have not seen. I haven't seen it.
Okay, no one's seen it.
It's not for public consumption. That's why.
Okay, so do we
Intel is not for public consumption, is it?
Do we not? I mean, do we not live in a place where there's due process? When we talk about due process, that basically the rule of law in this country, we don't have any of that.
Okay, let's go back to Barack Obama killing a terrorist. Did he get due process? No. Which terrorist? A terrorist
that we knew on a foreign soil, that we knew for sure that helped plan 9/11.
Now we have people that are dealing drugs.
We don't know. None of us. First of all, there's 11 people on a boat.
We don't know
who was on that boat. None of us do
know that.
Exactly.
The military does.
And that's
the military does. And that's all that matters.
How do you know? How do you know the military knows? How do you know? You don't. It doesn't matter to you if you know or not, right? Because it doesn't matter. So anybody could be carrying drugs. If they say the person's carrying drugs, they're carrying drugs. How many times has the military lied to us? What about COINTELPRO when they brought the CIA and everybody else brought drugs in to our communities in America here and sold us drugs? It was good enough, right? Because we don't know any better.
But but Wesley, again, you and I are not going to see that intel. Okay, you and I are not going to see
why didn't they just secure them?
That are going to show why they did that.
Wouldn't it have been smarter for them? Okay, they could have caught him. Okay, you know who the one guy is who's saying Maduro is a part of the drug, at least what I hear is, I think it's one of Chapo's sons, right? He's the one who's like pointing the finger now because he's probably got all this time. Like,
he probably knows.
Maybe he does. Maybe he's like, you better say Maduro, or you're going to get all this time. He's like, Maduro. So why wouldn't they grab these guys on this little boat, grab them up, and maybe get them to flip on this guy so we got more evidence so we all can see it? Because none of us know. They did the same thing to Manuel Noriega, and we all know they helped him get into power. They helped him do everything he had to go do to get to this point, because he was not the leader of that country at first. He was a military leader at the time, and we helped him become basically the dictator of Panama. And then we took him down after we got caught with our hands in the cookie jar running drugs into our own country. So that just, to me, we got to stop.
I completely understand that, but that was what, 40 years, 30, 35 years ago?
And we're using the same game. We act like we don't see the same. Does history not repeat itself with game? They do the same thing over and over again. We don't watch the same thing repeat itself over and over again. It's the same process. Yeah. He's doing his drugs over there. Now we go take it. Do you think we're going into
and so now you're complaining about it?
Do you think
now
that
it's a problem?
What is a problem?
Now it's a problem that we're trying to take down drug cartels. Now it's a problem.
It's a problem when we both know, I know, that they don't care anything about Nicolas. If they cared about drug cartels, they'd be stopping the ones that were there in Mexico. They'd be stopping the ones
to stop those there in Mexico.
They'd be stopping the ones there in Colombia and every other country that's out there. They don't care about that. We know why they're going into Venezuela. Why are they going into Venezuela? Tell me why. It's drugs, right?
Drugs.
Oh, yeah.
If you have an informant saying that Maduro's in on it, well, then why not do it?
Let's go ahead and tell our audience who has the most known oil reserves in the entire world. Most people will think that it's Saudi Arabia. Most people will think it's
prior to us going live. You just got done saying that Venezuela does not.
No, I said they do. I know. I said they do have the most known oil reserve. That's not what I said. I did not say that.
You said they're not pumping it out.
That's different. That's two separate issues. To have the most known oil reserves in the world,
that's fine.
And Saudi Arabia does not pump out the most oil either. You know, the United States, we pump more oil than anyone else.
You have a regime there that doesn't have free and fair elections, because it's run by a damn dictator.
We just it's the guy who you have in power said we don't have free and fair elections here.
Well, it's true, because you had Hillary Clinton say the same thing.
I don't know about
true.
That. Yes. I mean, I don't know what she said. I don't know what she said. I don't know. I said that Hillary. You could wait to come back saying. I don't know. Hillary Clinton said we don't have free and fair elections in this country. I'm not. I've never heard her say that. She was
cheated out of being president.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't a free and fair election. That means that she probably felt that God. Russia colluded with Trump to help push people's minds or whatever. I don't know what she said.
We all know about that.
Listen, I am not going to defend Hillary Clinton saying that someone cheated her out of 2016. I think she lost. I voted for her. At the time, I said, you need to go ahead and concede. The same night when she was getting whooped on and they're losing state by state, I said the same thing. 2024, I said the same thing when Trump won then. 2020, I said the same thing when Biden won, that he won the election. I am not one of those people who's election deniers. I'm just not one of those people. I've never been that. So I'm not going to sit back and act like, if the person who's sitting in our office is saying that we don't have free and fair elections, how are we going to sit back and be mad at another country who's saying they don't either? Putin doesn't. He wins the election every year by like 90. He gets like 90% of the vote.
We know that, but we can't take him out.
Oh, we can't take him.
Because guess what's going to happen?
So we take out.
You can't take out Putin because that's going to start World War III.
We take out who we take out.
If you take out Maduro, it's a different story. And I've said more than once. I've said more than once with you and DMAC. I said it's past time that we go in there and we get a real election in Venezuela. Period. I'm not saying you go out and kill him. How do you assassinate him?
How do you get a real and free
election? Take him out of power.
No, but that doesn't mean a real and free election is going to happen. That means an election that we're propping someone up, putting them in power. You know what that means. You know what that means. Okay, so if we go in and we take over, they're going to get a free and fair election. They're going to get an American free and fair election. That's what they're going to get in their country.
Get something better than what they have now, right?
This is what I'm going to say right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not against Maduro in his country. I'm not against what he's doing. I wasn't against the way Hugo Chavez in his country. I think they just went about it the wrong way. I think they went about what they did the wrong way. If you look at the way Saudi Arabia
killing their enemies, that's the right way, right?
I think we've all done that. I think every country's done that, killed their enemies in order to take power and do whatever they had to do. I don't think he killed his enemy. He won in an election. Hugo Chavez won in an election. That's how he won. Then he just changed the whole thing. He went on a socialist.
What did he do to the people that were against him?
I can't say. I don't know. He won.
Look it up.
He was a military leader. He was like a military guy in that country. Then he ran on a socialist agenda and he won. That's what happened. I'm not sure. In the meantime,
he also had his detractors killed.
It happens a lot of places. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not defending him. All I'm saying is they voted for him. He became president of that country. Later on, trying to pretty much turn into sort of a quasi dictator, sank their economy. You know what I mean? It is what happened. There's nothing that we can do about that. I don't think that we should go in and try and like regime change. Of course, I want to see Venezuela free, and
but you
free
want to
too
see
as
them
well.
do well for their people, right? And the only way to do that is to change the leadership there.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, that goes for every
because right now, are they not suffering there? Are they not suffering? Are those people in Venezuela suffering? Yes or no? Do you think that we should have sanctions on Venezuela? Can we not help them to get better? To be more prosperous.
So all of a sudden now are the people in Ukraine suffering? Are the people in Gaza suffering? Are the people in I'm not to bring up all the whole, are those people are suffering too?
Are we not giving money and aid to help them?
Are people in a bunch of other countries suffering? But you told me earlier before that it's not our job to police the world. This is what you said before. Now all of a sudden you have a police mentality. What's going on
here?
Giving
aid. That's not
USAID is.
Are we not?
Aid.
Hold on.
What happened?
What's that?
USAID's job was to give aid. We got rid of that.
Yes, it's still there, isn't it?
Yes. No, we got rid of most of all of it.
No,
what he did
USAID is still there.
He's unwound.
We just defunded some of the crappy programs that it was funding.
He defunded most of the programs that we had in the USAID.
That were not doing anything. Sesame Street in Iraq, that was doing a lot, wasn't it?
I guarantee
Drag shows in Ireland, that was doing a lot.
I think Sesame Street in Iraq is a powerful thing for the United States of America. Very powerful. It's great for us.
They can pay for it.
Well, I mean, why are they going to pay for America propaganda? Why are they going to pay for it?
Because do we not have enough problems here at home that we can't pay for? Correct.
It's American propaganda. I'm not going to. Sesame Street in Iraq probably cost us what, $5 million, $10 million. Oh my God, $10 million.
So that money
we're a $30 trillion economy. We got to come on.
That money can be used here in this country. Correct.
Yeah, so could the money that we use to blow up that little boat with 11 people on there. That money could be used in a number of different ways as well. But why are we doing that?
We have plenty of problems here that we need to deal with first.
You just said we should be doing that just now. Which one is it, Steve?
I said
let's go ahead. You just said let's go get rid of Venezuela's guy and give them. That's going to cost how much money that's going to cost us to do all that. That doesn't just happen. You don't know who's going to take over. It could be another military leader who has the power of the military. We have to be in there. It's going to cost us hundreds of billions of dollars to do something like that. That costs us a lot of money to take over to do regime change. You know that, right?
Takes one bomb.
And you really
takes one bomb.
That's what George Bush thought, didn't he? When he talked about walking in, when he thought about
going
Obama
thought too.
And they'll cheer us. No,
Obama
never invaded any country at all. Who did he invade? Tell him.
No, he killed plenty of people.
Because he was
he
in
shot
a war.
He shot missiles
in a
Syria.
war.
killed people in Syria.
He was in a war. He walked into
What war was he in? Afghanistan.
Iraq. Bigger than Afghanistan.
We were out of Iraq. We got out of Iraq. What year did we get out of Iraq?
And you know what you said? What you said about me before? You don't know anything about history. We just say that you don't know anything about history.
Out of Iraq?
I can't. It was probably like 2000. It was like well after. It was well. I think Obama may have gotten us out. It may have been Trump or somewhere around there. It was well after Obama. It was like 2000. I don't know. I can't say the year, but he walked in. There were still insurgencies going on when he became president. You know what I mean? Like still that happening in that country. So Bush walked out of office. Iraq was still blazing. Look it up. It's a fact.
Oh no, I am.
You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is he never started a war. Let's get back to Venezuela. Let's get back when you get
2014.
So when did he leave office? 2016. Yeah. So I mean, he's the one who ended Iraq war, got us out of there. I mean, because no one else did. We were in there for what? Almost 9 years, no, almost 11 years. Yeah, go ahead, start something like that over in Venezuela. That'd be great for the whole region. That'd be smart for us to do.
They could leak over, take out Maduro.
I'm not saying it would take that long, but the reason it didn't take that long to take out Saddam
I'm not
Hussein.
Even saying you
they
have
killed
to
Saddam Hussein in 2003.
What I'm saying is you can go in and prop up. You can go in and prop up other people in that country.
So what is this called now? This is called this is somewhat of kind of like imperialism type things.
No, that's not imperialism. Imperialism is taking over the country. We're not taking over anything.
That's pretty much what you're doing when you prop up a figurehead leader. You're taking. Are we going to? Okay, let me say this. So France did not run. Chad,
do we not support people in other countries? Yes, all the time. We
Absolutely,
support people, other leaders in other countries,
supporting
all the time
people, but actually going in and putting them in power. That's not that. Now
I'm not saying putting them in power. I said prop somebody up to go run against Maduro and actually have a free and fair election to where he gets taken out of office.
How do you do that?
Is that a problem? I don't see a problem.
It sounds like a bad plan because there's no way. If he's having not free and fair elections right now, like you say. If that's not happening right now, it doesn't matter. We had a guy who we propped up. We gave him $30 billion of Nicolas Maduro's money. Remember the other guy's name was like Juan something. I forget his name, like Julio, something like that. He's a decent looking guy. Gave him $30 billion. You know what Maduro did? Ran him out the country. Get out of here. Yeah, just like the other woman who ran with the guy who they said the older gentleman. Yeah. They made sure she couldn't run either. So there's no one we can go and prop up. You have to, if you're going to do this, you have to get rid of him. And now you have no one in power because now the military, either you got military leaders who are going to say, we're not going to follow behind who you tell us to follow behind. They can act like they're going to. As soon as we leave, what? Anarchy, war. You're not think you're going to have other foreign actors coming in here? China just put $1 billion into the oil industry over there. You think they're not going to be planning that too? And also Russia, other countries are not going to be trying to back. Come on. That's a power vacuum waiting to happen. Same thing we did over in Iraq. It's a bad plan. All I'm saying is there's a better way to go about it. We're taking Venezuela right now. It's all about oil. It has nothing to do with drugs. And we're going to have ourselves a problem trying to open up this can of worms. If he's only going to be in office for allegedly 3 more years or whatever he got going on, what's going to happen when he leaves?
Well, here's the other issue. You're saying China's now in there and getting the oil, right?
Yeah. They're yeah.
So are we too little too late? We let the Biden administration let China go in there?
No, I think take over.
It was back in Biden. I'm not mistaken. It was back in Biden's term that they started going over there. It didn't happen overnight.
This is what I'm going to say.
Shit like that doesn't happen overnight.
Absolutely. It's happened over a course of decades. When it's happened when we start sanctioning them to begin with. These sanctions have been going on for a long. As soon as they nationalize their oil industry, we start putting sanctions on them because you know why? Because our governments are tied to the oil industry instead of our government being like, oh, you know what? That's business. They can do what they want. Everyone has hooks into our government officials. Oh, let's put sanctions on them because they went against Exxon because Exxon's giving you money. That's why. Just like when Trump told him, hey, you give me $1 billion, I'll make sure all your problems go away. There won't be any red tape for you. Told him that. Now look what he's doing for him. He's about to go take over the you know what I mean, the platinum, the platinum egg of Venezuela to give it to the oil and gas industry. Yeah, that's what this is about. This has nothing to do with drugs. Let's be honest here. That's an easy thing to fix.
It killed 2 birds with 1 stone, drugs and oil at the same time. But the problem exists. You have China rolling into Venezuela in American waters, meaning America waters.
But
right?
they're already in our backyard. They're in Mexico. They're in every they've taken over.
Do you not have to do something? Do you not have to do something?
Yes, be better trade partners, be better partners to the world, be better. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Partner with Maduro.
You can be if you set up, if you take away, you know what, Maduro, man, we're getting rid of the sanctions. This is what we're going to do. We want to do business. This is what we're going to do.
You have one dictator talking to another dictator. You have a Chinese dictator talking to a Venezuelan dictator. That's what you have. Of course, they're going to like each other.
If they're in my backyard, and because I'm going to like you too. If you're not putting all the sanctions on me, doing things against me, trying to usurp me as being leader, I'm going to like you better as well. If you sit back and you respect me as who I am, you know what?
We have to do that to help get rid of him.
We don't
have to get rid of him.
You know what? I mean,
because if you don't get rid of him, China's going to come over and take over the country. Period.
No, that's not how it. I don't believe that's how it works.
What's going to happen.
I think that our insistence.
And if you don't think that's what's going to happen, then you're living in a fantasy.
I think
that's exactly what China wants to do.
Our insistence on thinking that that's the way to go about getting rid of all. Are just like having the world have the view that we have around the world. I think that's what's put us in this situation that we're in right now. This is why most of these countries, you have Indonesia, you have all the countries that are in the BRICS nations right now. Those are going to be the leading countries as far as GDP. All of our partners are falling. They will be falling as far as where they're at on the GDP chart. Ethiopia, countries like this are going to be in BRICS because we don't have the ideology to say, I'm going to respect you as a leader and the way you run your country, and I'm going to do business with you as far as that's concerned. I may not do all business.
Somebody like Maduro, we don't respect.
If we respect people like France who tell people that they cannot wear a hijab in their country because they don't want this and that going on, we should respect Maduro. Why not? If we respect countries like I don't want to just pick on France, but France who raked over the coals African nations for years, took and basically, I want to use the R word, but I don't want you grape aped these countries for their natural resources. We should respect Maduro. There's a lot of things that we should not respect in countries that we do business with around the world, but we take it and we respect it, right? So at the end of the day, you know what? Until that nation decides to vote otherwise, the best thing to do is time heals everything. Time heals everything. If a country starts to get stronger and better, even tell you who's one of the most afraid countries in the entire world, who has leaderships who are afraid, and Saudi Arabia. They're so afraid of their people saying, you know what? We want more. This is why they have all the free stuff they have now, but they're afraid. They talk openly like, hey, we're afraid of revolt. We've watched it happen in other nations all around us. You know what I mean? So that's what time heals everything. You give people access and growth. It
does not heal everything. It does not.
You tell me what nation that has become prosperous that just stays under a regime that's just that is just like a very, very oppressive regime. And do not say China. Do not. Tell me who.
Why can't you say China?
Because they're not prosperous as a nation. They're not. Yes, they look good, but if you got 1.4 billion people, your GDP is about half what mine is, a little over half what mine is, and I only have 300 million people, 340 million people. You got 5 times more people than we do in our nation. You are not prosperous. It just sounds good. You're supposed to have that much money. You're supposed to be right there where you're at because you're poor. And we look at the poor we have in our nation. Now you tell me 5 times, imagine what their poor look like. We couldn't even think of what poor means to them.
I think some of the Arab countries that have Jordan, I mean, you have the royalty, which is basically a dictatorship in Saudi Arabia. They're not doing too bad for themselves.
They're not, but
they're really a dictatorship. They are.
And
I don't care what anybody says.
No, truly. That's why I said they're worried. They're worried about their people rising up against them. They said they're younger class of people. They're becoming restless and the way that things are.
Well,
they
that's more. I think,
and they're giving more rights though too.
That's not political, and that's not economic. That's to me.
That is political. That's political. That's political. That's political. But it's also political too. You know what I mean? It's also like it's religious and it's religious and it's political kind of combined together.
You have a monarchy there, right? It's run by monarchy, and unless they overthrow that monarchy or come together with a type of parliamentary system that can, like in England, the monarchy has no power whatsoever in England, right? Most monarchies in the world don't have power anymore.
There's not
because
they
have a parliamentary system of government, but in Saudi Arabia it's different. That monarchy has ultimate say so.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's why I'm saying, that's why I brought them up, that they're worried. They have a concern that something may occur because they looked around them, and they also have like a little
in our lifetime though. It's not going to happen in our lifetime.
I mean, we're going to be around for a
while.
They
got 10,000 princes over there, for crying out loud. They're not going to give that up anytime soon.
You think that's not about giving it up? As people take it, they will take it from you. They've taken it from other people in other countries. They've taken it. You know what I mean? It happens.
You got to remember, most of that military over there is of either royal descent.
We watched it happen upper in echelon. We watched it happen in Libya to Muammar Gaddafi. He had some of the best.
Libya was a poor country. Libya was a poor country.
Let me say this. Libya had some of the best social economic programs in the entire world.
But some of the best. Poor ass country.
I mean, for them, now they are, but for them, they were not that poor. They were not that far like removed from you got to look at it like this. For where he took over, I think he had taken over 40, 50 years ago or something like that. At the time, whenever he took it over that long ago, from where he came from where they were to where he came, they were not that poor of a nation. They were doing well for themselves. If you had a problem that they could not deal with medically in your country, he would fly you for free to the other. That's not a poor country. To another country to get that taken care of for you. When you became married, he gave you a dowry and he gave you an apartment. Everyone had free health care, education. That is not a poor nation. That is that is a developing nation, but it's not a poor country at all.
Well, he had some of the
every country is developing. I mean, China's developing major. India is developing major. They got a $4 or $5 trillion economy. They got the most people in the entire world, 1.5 billion. I know that China has 1.5, but they're like 1.5, 1.4, high 1.4. India's like a growing 1.5 and a half type country. They're a little bit more people. That's why it sounds the same.
But they
got a $4 trillion economy.
And they're still extremely poor.
But they're a developing country, is what I'm saying. But in the next 20, 30 years, they're going to be they're already number four on the depth chart as far as GDP worldwide right now. They're going to be number two, probably in the next 30 years. Number two. China will be number one. India number two, will be number three. That's just the way it's going to plan out. And that's the way it's supposed to pan out, because we don't have as many people as they do. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's not like people are going to look at that as like, oh, we're going to be, oh, man. I remember one time everyone used to get mad. But anyway, we're getting off subject.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and reel it back in. So you believe that Venezuela.
There's got to be a way to get him out of there, even if it's not military. If it's not a military way of doing it and taking him out and doing a 100% regime change, a coup, some kind of coup to take over the government there's got to be something that we can do. And I'm no longer in any kind of military status or government status or anything like that. So I don't know what they're planning. I don't know what it is that they're trying to do down there except they got to try and keep China out, because if they don't, they're going to take that over. And at that point, you might as well take over the whole continent of South America.
I mean, but they already are. Like we don't keep our eye on the ball. It's our fault. See that? It's our fault. I mean, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, we were South America's number one trading partner. Just like every country in South America, we were their number one trading partner. We allowed that to happen by selling our jobs off, selling our businesses off overseas, let them outsource everything. It's our fault.
NAFTA, baby.
It's bigger than that. We're not doing good business with people. We don't know how to sit down at the table and treat people as equals. That was all
in the 90s. All that business left in the 90s.
Man, they left before that even. The 80s and
NAFTA
70s.
Was terrible.
We saw. I'm from Ohio. I don't want to keep this going. I lived in Ohio, right? I watched all of our tire plants get shut down. This was going on in the 80s. They were doing this. This was happening in the 80s. Everyone was scared in their job, losing their jobs. That was where everyone worked. And this was happening in the late 70s and 80s. And it just like closed out in the 90s. Probably with the death blow was probably NAFTA.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So this has been going on for a while. We watched China took Japan's same exact blueprint.
That's why you cannot have free trade anymore. That's why you have tariffs. That's why you do that.
I mean, I think that in certain things you need.
I mean, maybe the tariffs aren't well designed. I'll grant you that.
In certain things you do. In certain things you do. You cannot have free trade.
You can't allow free trade.
like you said, you can't allow a country to just to subsidize all of their solar panels and all their steel and all of their electric vehicles so they can just run yours into the ground and they can take over the world market. You can't allow that. That just can't happen. But at the same time, you'll never be.
That's been happening.
I know, but you cannot beat China when it comes to I can make everyone here work for 12 cents an hour.
They don't pay anybody a damn living wage over there. That's not our fault.
But you can't. We don't know if it's a living wage or not because we don't live there. Living wages for them is different than us. So I can go, listen, well, I'm just saying I can go right now outside where I'm at right now and find breakfast for $2-3. Not outside exactly here where I'm at, but if I go out a little bit.
Find what?
I can go find breakfast for $2 or $3.
Oh, yeah.
Breakfast. A whole entire breakfast for $2. Like, you know what I mean? Good sized breakfast for $2 or $3. So the living wage for them is different than us. Like they got mad at Beyonce for, they're making her jeans for $1 or whatever an hour. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because in their country, things are cheaper. Rents, you can go pay $200 in rent if you live up here, or $150 in rent if you live way over there, where most of the people who don't make as much money live. That's a little different situation. So we can't say that it's not a livable wage for them because we don't know what that is.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
No, I get that. I mean, I understand it, but again, you've seen video and pictures of the people that live over there, and they're not living high on the hog, Wesley.
It's going to take a while. I mean, that's a developing nation. It's going to take a while. You got to remember where we used to live at. I mean, as being Americans, you saw those soup lines. You saw how America, where we came from developing, where we kind of came from at that point in time. It takes time. What is it called? Our industrial revolution. That's what they're going through. And really, in reality, that's what they're going through right now. They're going through what we went through in 1919, 1920, in the early 1900s. That's what they're going to at this point in time. They're going to go through a lot worse things. They're going to have.
And this is probably for another topic. But that's why I think unions in this country hurt business.
That's tough.
Because
that's tough one to say right there.
Well, and I know a lot of union workers. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I mean a lot of steel workers up there and auto workers and coal miners and stuff like that. They were all unionized up there, but at the same time, they want and want and want more from the companies, which therefore drives prices up. You're not going to get that in China because the people are afraid to get killed over there. If they try and rise up, they get killed.
But you got to remember, like I said before too, though, we went through a time where that would happen to us too. Remember, they used to send in the Pinkertons and all kind of people when they killed American workers. This happened in our country. So
but then they unionized.
Exactly.
Now it's hurt us over the years.
So if you look at the same thing I'm saying, this is why I'm saying what I said about China. They're going through a period that we went through. So they're going to go through the tough times we went through as well. They had their Tiananmen Square. They'll go through it again. They'll go through whenever their country wants free healthcare. They'll go through when their country wants food that's, better for them. They want better opportunities. They're going to go through this stuff. It's going to happen. China's not going to have.
But they don't have the people that can. They're not going to have they have a gigantic population that don't want Xi Jinping to be in power. But yet they're so afraid of him, they're not going to do anything to go against him. Tiananmen Square was nice. It was a great rise up. A lot of people died. They were trying to get communism out of there, but they're just too powerful.
Listen, they're happy right now. We got to remember. I'm not gonna say that the Chinese people. This is what I'm gonna say. This is gonna tell you that they're not afraid of their government. This is what I'm gonna tell you why right here. If they were afraid of their government, the government didn't have to worry about them. They wouldn't have ghost towns. They wouldn't be building huge towns with a whole bunch of buildings that no one lives in, building fields and fields and fields of solar power where no one, you know what they're doing that for? To keep people working, to keep them complacent, to keep them happy. If they didn't care about you, they could have banked that money and invested it somewhere else and said, starve. We don't care about you at all. They're worried about their people. So they continue to build. Starving. All I'm saying is we got people over here starving too. What I'm saying though, but the vast majority of people are like, oh, okay, we'll settle right now. I mean, we're good. If you can keep the most of the people, it's good. Okay. If you keep a few people with a couple of nice bags and other people looking to say, oh, okay, I might be able to get that bag if I keep on working. You know what I mean?
Gucci bag.
You know what I mean? You feel what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is that tells you that there's fear because other people, you think Saddam Hussein's going to build a ghost town? He's like, nah, I'm building a ghost town. I'm about to put that money and get me a gold toilet. I'm going to go ahead over here. I'm going to put gold over here.
Oh, you said gold. I thought you said goat at first. What's a goat toilet? No. I don't know what that is.
No. But do you hear what I'm saying?
Full-time toilets? I don't know.
No. That too. But the gold one would be, wouldn't it? I was saying, but that's what he'd probably do at that juncture right there. A person like that. That shows you that.
But you also have to remember you're in China. You've only got a few cities in China that are actually prospering, right? Hong Kong, and that's probably the biggest one, right? And look what they're doing with Thailand. They're trying to take over Thailand, and I mean that they're trying to annex Thailand. I mean,
China's playing a great game. The way they're playing their game right now, we're not playing our game the way we should be. They're out there making friends. I mean, they're doing things that are probably, we did too.
Yeah, but they're making friends the wrong way.
Why?
Because they're undercutting everybody else, right? Which is good business, right? It's good business but they're going to wind up, and the people there are going to wind up hurting because of it. And that's the case.
People where in China?
No, Venezuela in South America. When they start taking over Venezuela, the rest of the dominoes are going to fall down there.
They're
going to have influence in all the other countries down there.
They already got influence in these places. They got the BRICS. Where's Brazil? The number one part of BRICS is where? The largest country in the second largest country in all of South and North America is Brazil. By numbers, let's not, they probably got a higher GDP. I almost want to say maybe Canada, but I don't think so. I think they got a higher GDP than Canada. I'm not sure, but let's just say so this is already happening. So what we need to be doing is being better business people and projecting forward, not looking backwards. This is what we always do. And this is what the same thing that us invading Venezuela, instead of doing business with them, is projecting backward, not looking forward to the future. They have over 300 billion barrels of oil, known oil reserves. We could not have to worry about our gas price. They pay cents for oil down there. It's cheap. It's a problem for us.
But I don't see us going in there and taking over Venezuela.
You don't need to. I know what you mean. You're right. You're right. Without some type of a military intervention. So
there's got to be some kind of. I think there's got to be some kind of military intervention down there. But I mean, that's just my opinion. So.
I think that. I mean, we've tried the sanctions thing, and it has not worked.
They're not working.
It's not budging. You know what I mean? It's because the world's changing. The dollars, it's no longer going to be just the only reserve currency that people are using. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to change. So we got to find out a different tact. I think the tact of actually treating people as equals, giving people say so, having a conversation, doing business the right way without being underhanded. That's going to go a long way for America.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing, and this is my last point. Mm-hmm. When you negotiate tariffs with a country and you sit there and you actually sit down and talk to them and get them on board with what you're trying to do, China's not going to do that because China wants to sink us. Okay, so we're never going to get to the point where we can have normalized relations with that country. It's just not going to happen. Not in my lifetime.
Do you think that China can stop us? You think that China can stop us from having normalized relations with any country except for maybe not even, who I think Pakistan owes China more money than any other country on earth. Maybe except for like North Korea. I don't know, because no one really knows what they owe them, right? Yeah. Pakistan. Do you know who does business with the United States of America? Pakistan, a lot of business. We are the big dogs. We buy the most. People want to do business with us. China's not buying everything from everybody. They might
no, but they are the ones making the money off of selling it all.
No, but what they're doing is saying, I'm going to bring you jobs. I mean, what people want to do is say, you know what? I want to start my own jobs and export somewhere. Who's the biggest buyer? Big dogs. You know what I mean? I know China's a big dog too. Don't get it wrong. But at the same time, they want to sell stuff too. So they have no problem. You get what I'm saying? People are not going to turn their nose up to doing business with the United States of America. It's just not going to happen. It's us sitting around playing big boss all the time. Well, we're going to tell you what to do, or we're not going to do business with you. It's what's going to hurt us long term, and that's what I've been saying overall. But let's move on to our next segment here. Republicans eager for Trump to expand use of military on U.S. soil. National Guard troops patrolling the streets of U.S. cities. Weapons of war deployed against international gangs suspected of drug trafficking. Military bases and resources redirected to mass immigration enforcement operations. President Donald Trump is swiftly implementing his vision of the military as an all-powerful tool for his policy goals. It's ground that presidents have hardly ever crossed outside of times of war. And experts say it's remaking the role of the most powerful military in the world and his relationship with the American public. Yet as Trump has dramatically stepped up his use of military force, fellow Republicans in Congress were authorizing for such actions it's supposed to originate have done little but cheer him on. That's giving the president significant leeway as he raises plans to send troops next to Chicago, Baltimore, and New Orleans. If I were one of those mayors, I'd be glad to have the help, said Senator Roger Wicker, Republican of Mississippi, the chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee, speaking from a Capitol building where National Guard troops were patrolling the surrounding city. I think the big city Democrats are really making a mistake. I think they're being tone deaf. Lawmakers from Louisiana, a red state that surrounds politically blue New Orleans, said it's a great idea for National Guard troops to go there next. New Orleans, like most Democrat-run cities, has a high crime rate, so it'd be helpful. House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Louisiana Republican, told the Associated Press. So, I mean, let's listen to this right here. What do you think about this whole entire sending troops into American cities? Sending the National Guard, sending Marines armed to a T into American cities, walking around with weapons of war around our kids, around our citizens as a whole, making us feel a lot less safe than what we truly are in this country.
How are they less safe when you have people trying to stamp down crime? How is that making people less safe?
Do you not think?
Do you think the people that are carrying those guns around are just indiscriminately shooting people?
What I think is this right here.
Or are they out there? Are they out there being a force for the good to help the police that are actually in there working their butts off? Don't have enough support because they can't, because you have all these blue cities that have wanted to defund police.
When I look at troops being involved in anything, American troops, and I look at military in the streets, that makes me feel a lot less safe at any given moment, especially when I know they've been giving policing.
Why?
Okay. What you as
Why?
a military
They're
man,
just augmenting the police. How is that making more people unsafe?
You as a military man, what is the police? Well, I mean, not the police. I'm sorry, the military. What are the military? What are they known as? A hammer, correct? A hammer.
No,
a hammer.
No, this
is military people all over said that the military should never be deployed against United States citizens because they are a hammer. They are not good with policing. They are not built for policing. They're built to be hammers. This.
The military has military police units,
goodness.
brigades, battalions that go out and they.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my! Those are ones that.
Have you ever been?
I know about the military police. Unit? I know what the military police. I live in a place that probably has some of the most military per capita anywhere in the world. We have like 5 bases right around my city where I live at.
But the point I'm making is they're there to augment. They're not there to terrorize.
MPs are not who they're sending in there.
Cities.
MPs are not who they're. But these people are being used. It's like saying a person who is built for war to go in here and
not only that, but they're National Guard units. They're weekend warriors. Okay, they're not out there being hammers.
They're not. They're not just.
They're not just the hammers.
They're not just sending. They're not just sending in National Guards. Are you saying that now National Guard troops are not trained as not saying exactly like, but they're not trained like military units at all? They're not. They're not ready for war. They're not sent into war zones at all. Be careful. Because you're going to talk down about your fellow. You're going to talk down about your fellow.
No, this is not talking down. I've known reservists. My dad was a reservist for years. He was definitely not trained up to be somebody that goes and gets deployed overseas all the time.
But they go though. I'm not saying they don't go.
But they go. But they do. But the National Guard usually doesn't. Right? The National Guard usually stays home. That's what they're National Guard for.
They don't deploy them in war zones.
They get deployed. They get deployed sometimes. I'm not going to say that they don't. But are they trained up like the way a regular 9-to-5 Army person is? No, they're not. They don't get all the schooling and the training that the regular Army gets.
Well, they're trained to be police officers, not military. Not trained with the weapons of war. Not trained. They're trained to use handguns. Then, right? Only handguns, like a cop.
They're trained to do that. They're trained to use weapons, handguns,
and to know how to operate military vehicles, military equipment. They know how. That's what they're trained for. Correct. Yes. That's all I'm saying. Yes. So these people do.
So why are they not? Why is it wrong to augment the police?
What I'm saying is, if crime rates, it'd be like if we had like total, like it was just out of control. Oh my God, the city's burning, things of that nature. Yeah, maybe send them in to help bring it back into order. But this is the United States of America. Freedom comes with a price. Anything that you do is going to come with a price. Our freedom, the fact that I can say, you know what, you're wrong. president of the United States, this, that, and the third, and not be handcuffed and taken away from my rights. That's
okay,
a right.
So why are we wanting to defund police departments in these blue cities? Answer that question. Why? They already have a tough enough job as so is it. So you want to bring social workers into a gang violence zone where people are getting shot every damn weekend? Where is the logic in that?
When you're watching police killings go up, because some of these police officers are not built for certain situations. They're killing people who are mentally ill. They're killing people who are mentally ill.
Earlier, let's talk about percentage of police killings.
Okay,
it's low. It's low.
I'm not going to say it's low, but all I'm saying it doesn't matter.
If you're low, and you know it's low.
A police officer has a duty to not kill, not walk in and kill first, and we see it happen a lot. It doesn't happen all the time. Don't get me wrong. There's lots of police interactions that end peacefully. That's not what I'm saying.
99% of them do.
But they have a duty because of the power that's vested in them.
You are going to have some bad apples.
A lot of them. It's not just bad apples. You have a lot of them. You have entire police force.
Have a lot of bad apples.
Yeah, you do. I think this is how I look at police force. Most of them, police force is a gang. That is a form of a gang. In my eyes, they just are. They will all come together and coalesce together and tell the same story together because if something goes wrong. I've watched them do it. I've watched a person get beat and no one says anything about it.
That is a shameful remark.
It's a fact.
That you are generalizing police.
Do you see how many police forces have been, not under this administration, of course, because they don't want to do this, have been taken down because they are corrupt? Through and through. You act like we don't. This is to me.
It happens, but it's a low percentage.
No, man, no. It's police abuse power every day. A lot of them, most of all of them do. I say this. They say absolutely. They say power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolute. Whatever you know, what I'm talking about. Yes. That is a fact of what policemen is. So
that's not happen. That is not a regular occurrence.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. It's very much a regular.
That is overgeneralizing, and
it is very much. I'm not, but it's not though. I'm gonna tell you like this.
Okay, you didn't answer my question. Why would we want to defund police?
So this goes back into what I just said just now. So it's not about just defunding them. It's about when you take away most police stations, they're like, hey, buy me this over here. Well, they're not. It's not that I'm defunding you. It's I'm not gonna buy that. I'm gonna put it into social workers that may be able to go into situations that you're not built for. This situation right here, a parent calls and says, hey, my son's having some type of a mental breakdown. He's autistic or he's this. Don't send in the police there because they don't know how to deal with that. They're not going to talk him down.
Let's go ahead and send them into a gang violence area and see what happens.
Is that the scenario that I just spelled out?
Social worker into a gang violence area?
You know what? Yeah, I would. Tell you what I would do. Tell you what I would do. No, yes, I would.
Because you wouldn't get anybody to go in there.
We're not finished yet. We're not. Let me explain. Let me explain my viewpoint. Okay, exactly. I would. If it were someone who's saying a person here is having a mental breakdown, I would have the police go with them. But who would be dealing with that person would be a person who can talk to that person. Yes, there would be police presence there to make sure it doesn't go left. But this would be the person who deals with them first. Hey, who is this? What's going on here?
Still have
What's
to
happening
have a police
here?
Presence.
No one said you don't.
Defunding the police, you don't have the resources to send the police with that person.
Defunding the police does not mean taking police officers off the street. It means that they don't get the you see that thing they had? It was like a military vehicle they had in New York. More. It's like the thing. This military vehicle cost millions of dollars. They brought it out during like the college protests. The first time they got to use it, you know what I mean? Because it's not useful in the city. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. So why am I going to go spend $20 million on this? Oh my God! If it's never been used,
you know what
no
a deterrent is.
Do you not know what a deterrent is? Now listen, the only time I can bring this out, I was like, I got to bring this out. I was like this, I got to bring this out for this college riot. This is not even a real college riot. This is the first time you got to ever use it. That's not being a deterrent. That means it's collecting dust. It's collecting dust in here. Oh, you're like,
and you got to get it out there to show some force and get these people out of there. That's what they do.
I couldn't wait. They flak jacketed up and everything else. These kids were in there just barricading themselves. They didn't have any weapons or anything. You
got guys up on top of that thing going, woo, 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 woo.
You know what I'm saying, though? But they went in there and they spent all this money.
Pull over.
Hey, they went in there and they spent all this money for no reason. The point of it is, man, is you're accepting something that you would never accept any other time, only is because it's the party that you're good with is saying it. That's why. Listen, you would never accept this any other time.
I love the fact that you're such a bleeding heart liberal. I get it. Okay,
bleeding heart.
But you cannot send a social worker into a gang scenario. You can't. They're not trained for that.
But listen, this is where we're
getting. Are you gonna have them packing? You can have those social workers packing.
Yeah, because they're not just social workers; they'll also be working for the police. You'll also be an officer, but you'll just be built. This is who you are. This is what I'm saying. Though, first of all, you made a most generalized statement. Gang area. You think that just because everybody who lives there is not gang related?
But I'm not saying.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not dealing with all gang people.
An example, kind of like you had the example of putting out a vehicle over there to blah 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 blah.
But that was true. That's actually a true statement. That's what happened.
Example.
But that's what happened.
It's an example. You're not going to have a social worker go downtown in the middle of Chicago during a gang fight and say, break it up, fellas. Break it up, fellas. Let's stop it. We don't want another Juicy Smollett incident on our hands.
You got it right there. I think it's going to be able to pull that one off. But you pulled it off. You pulled it off right there.
We don't need another Juicy Smollett incident. Hey, back off, fellas.
What I'm saying though is that
no MAGA hats and
that's the kind of thinking right there. Listen, that's the kind of thinking right there that gets us. That's the kind of thinking that gets us. When a person actually, the thinking about like gang area, 90% of people who live here are probably not a part of this gang.
I'm not.
So you're not dealing with
an example.
No, I understand what you're saying. No, let me just
probably 10% of the crime that happens in a big city like Chicago. But the fact of the matter is, you can't have a social worker go in the middle of that.
No, but they're not.
If there's something going down, you need force.
You're not. But you're not hearing what I'm saying. So this is not me saying I'm gonna send them into the call that's a shootout. You're making that assumption. I'm not. I said a lot of times when you have what happens is the police officers are dealing with problems that they're not built to deal with. The lady who was in her home and they came there and she was like, she said, "I'll rebuke you in the name of God, Jesus." And the dudes killed her. They were not built to deal with that situation. At all. They were not. They should not have been there alone. They should have had someone in there to talk to her first because he was like, "You better not do that." And he blew her brains out. You saw it just like I saw it. You know what I mean? They should not have been there alone. Someone should have been there to talk to her and be like, "Okay, we know she has mental issues. Let's talk." Yeah, this person can be a police officer and be trained to be a social worker first.
But they also have people like that now. They already have people like that.
So when they talk about defunding the police, they're talking about taking them away. Like they don't want weapons of war on the streets of America unless it has to be there.
You have to have weapons of war because the people that are killing people and using weapons of war against their own citizens.
The police officers don't walk around every day with weapons of war. I'm just saying, why am I going to sit here and buy a vehicle that's built for war on the streets of them, and then you never get to use it any other time? You know what I mean? That's what they're saying about defund. They don't want to put the defund does not mean take more police officers off the street. It means not buying things that you don't
hire more. You're not going to.
No, it doesn't mean that either. It doesn't mean. It means that let's not use this money for this. Let's use it for education. Let's use it for something different. Let's not put this money into. Hey, we just need a bunch of stuff in here that we may never use. We got bazookas and everything that you ain't even ever going to use. What do we need that for?
Bazookas, maybe bazookas.
You know, that's how you think too. That's the crazy part about it.
But they don't really make bazookas anymore, man.
I'm just saying, brother. And you know what I'm talking about. It could be a rocket launcher. It could be anything, any number of anything. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
I do. But the thing is, the realization is these troops are not on the ground to hurt people. Okay, you're making it sound like these guys are going out and trying to arrest people just to arrest them and shoot them down like dogs. That's not what's happening. They're going out there to augment the police, period, end of story. Probably 90% of them don't even have police action to where they can arrest people.
They got some of these people over here cleaning up the grounds and stuff like that, and then they take them off duty. I heard they get like, I think like 30 days they get
even Mary Bowser even said that it has worked in her city.
You know what she said? She said
there's a drastic reduction. She wants them out, but she's also grateful to have them there.
You know what I'm going to say? You know, it's a very hard thing to do. Okay, this is a line that she has to toe. I watched her say this as well. This is a line that she has to toe. Oh, carjackings are down by like 90, 98%, 100%, whatever, right? Let me say this. So if I'm mayor, what I'm going to say, I want you out of here. This is a problem. You're the worst possible thing. No, what I also do know is that you can't, that's not a city anymore. You're a militarized dictatorship at that point in time. You're not a city anymore. That's just what it is. We both know there's a price that comes along with freedom, and we're not. We're not. That's a fact. That is a fact. So if we militarize every city in America,
stay in their, the National Guard's not making people stay in their damn homes.
So if
people are actually getting out and doing more stuff because of them.
So if we militarize,
that's been widely reported.
You know what happens?
More restaurants. There's people going to more restaurants now.
You know what I see?
People are seeing a direct reflection of them making more money.
You know the difference of what I saw in what they did in like Georgetown neighborhoods versus what they did in black neighborhoods. They're walking up to guys like, "Hey man, what's going on? What's your name? What you got going on over here?" Trump wants us to come over here and check out neighborhoods. They want to interact with the people, like, you know what I mean? But it's a different type of interaction. They're not talking to these people. They're not walking up talking to these guys over here, but they want to walk up and talk to these people. It's a different interaction. That's what you don't see.
Okay, so I understand that, but why do you think they have to handle it differently there? Because the majority of the crime is happening in those areas, right?
Well, I mean, this is what I'm gonna say. No, I think that there's a perception of
you're going to have more crime here than you will in Georgetown, correct?
Absolutely. Yes. So that means that they need to walk up to these people and try to cause interaction with these people for what?
What do you mean cause interaction?
Like, I'm an American citizen. I don't want anyone, military, police, anyone walking up to me and talking to me about anything. For what?
Why
would I want that? Why would I want that? Why?
You don't want to have good relations with your citizens?
No, I mean, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what no.
You don't want to have it always be contentious between them.
This is what I know. I mean, that it's just the way it's been for a long time. It's very much like that. That's what you don't see. It's very much like that. I know the difference between someone who wants a good relation with me. I've watched it happen. I've owned businesses where I've dealt with people who police officers want a good relationship. They came up there and they wanted good relations. I've dealt with other ones who parked their cars in the drive-through lane and went out and chased somebody who they could have parked somewhere else. They did things on purpose. You know, I mean, it's a very different line. I've seen it happen on a number of different occasions.
I'll give you that. But that's not how it is all the time. You're overgeneralizing that police do that.
But you don't. But just because we live in different worlds at the same time too. I've dealt with a number of I've seen bad things, man. A lot of bad things in my life.
You probably have done bad things yourself.
I have. No, don't get me wrong. I have. But I'm not even talking about things in my life that I did. I'm talking about seeing it from someone else's perspective.
I get
what happened to them.
I've
seen it. I'm like, okay, so America. I don't every day right now. I don't talk to cops. What I want to talk to them for? What I want the military walking to me, because most of the time I'm in an airport, right? Let's just say I flew back into
because those cops are out there to try and keep you safe, right? Or is that not their job? Is that not their job? Is to try and keep the community safe? So why would you not want to interact with somebody who's trying to keep you safe and say thank you? Just like you go up to a veteran and say thank you for your service.
I don't have anything to say to them. You do what you're doing over here, and I'm gonna live my life. That's my freedom in this country. I don't need to interact with you, because half the time that interaction becomes something else. I could get into a bunch of stories where people walked up and said, "You fit the description of this. Get up against the wall. This XYZ." I'm coming off of work. I worked in putting on the decks on the jumbo ferries. It's like 1:00 in the morning. I'm just getting home off the ferry. I got a hard hat in my hand, the whole get up. You know what I mean? I'm covered in like the mud from, you know what I mean? It's not real mud, but it's like from the ground. The guy walks up, get up against the wall, this, that, and third. I fit the description of who. This is why I don't want interactions with them. I have nothing to talk to them about. I don't have that type of I don't want that rapport with you. There's been many other occasions that I could bring up and say, but it's okay. That's fine. I don't want that type of interaction with you. Don't come talking to me. I don't want to. I'm good with that. You do your job. I'll live my life, and I'm doing what I got to do. So that interactions are not the same peaceful interactions everyone else gets. But you open the door to that happening and more harassment happening in these neighborhoods, and you're going to say it's fine because that's where the crime is. Oh, it's fine that they go do this because that's where the crime is. It's fine they do this to people over here.
But here's the issue: if you do have a certain crime that has taken place, and you have somebody, it's their duty, to go and find the perpetrator, correct? I'm not saying they're doing it. I'm not saying what they did to you was the right way to do it, but they have a way of doing things. You can't blame police for all your. No,
I don't think you blame them, but I think you know what they got going on. There's been many other occasions. I know what's happening. They're not going to do that to this person, but they're going to do that to this person over here because they feel like they can. I've watched it happen many a time. So that's why I don't trust.
You are going to have police that take it too far. Okay, you are going to have people that take it too far. But that's in every part of society.
Absolutely.
I mean, you just got done saying you're a business owner. You do what you have to make money as a business owner, even if you know it's not the right way, but you're allowed to do it. Correct? That's going.
I'm not going to say that. I wouldn't say that, but I know what you mean, though. I get what you're saying, but I'm not.
I mean, you're going to have in any part of life, you're going to have people that take advantage of the situation. You're going to have people that are going to overpower other people.
That's a lot different when it comes to life or death.
You're a property owner, right? You're a property owner.
The life or death situation.
You could sit there and say, okay, I need more money next week, so I'm going to raise your rent. That's power over those people. You have the power over those people, and you take advantage of that power over those people. Happens every day.
Yeah, but that's not really. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes though. When you race,
it does happen.
It happens, but it's not happening like it's not how it goes. But you know, it's not different between someone taking your life though, or putting you in prison for a number of years because what they said versus what's true, or something like that. That's totally different than a person saying, you know what, I'm gonna raise your rent. That's not gonna kill you. It may make you homeless. It may do something else, put you through some other changes, but it ain't gonna kill you and ain't gonna put you in.
No, but
it's power though.
It's not. I'm not saying it's a false equivalency. It is right. It is a little bit, but what I'm saying is it's about power, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The more power somebody has over another person, that's where it goes wrong.
The problem is now you're bringing in troops into this type of a situation, and now you're making it normalizing the fact that military.
It's not normalizing anything. You have it in one city right now, one city. And honestly, if Chicago was smart, they'd say, "Hey, can you send me 300 troops?" I'm not asking for
anything. I would not deal with them. I think they're doing a good enough job. I think the people of Chicago vote for what they want in that city. They vote for the people who they want in office.
Chicago want it.
Oh, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Oh, my God. You know how bad
the people in Washington, D.C. don't even want it. People in D.C. don't even want it. They have it there.
That's not even more money out there now.
They've done polls already, man, and this is not even you just did what you normally do right there, which is just you want to
go look at the statistics of people in Chicago that are sick of people getting killed in their own city.
Absolutely. I think everyone is sick.
Those are the people that want
America. I think America is sick,
and that's a majority of the people in Chicago that want that.
I think America is sick of people getting killed, but that means we give up our freedoms for that. You give up your freedom for to stop.
It's not giving up
for a little while.
What freedom are you giving up? What freedom are you giving up? Do you have the freedom to walk out around the town and do what you're going to do every single day? Yes, you do.
I'd have that freedom right now.
That.
I have that freedom right now.
Law. They're not telling you it's a 9 o'clock curfew and you have to be in your home, are they? No. What freedom are you losing?
You don't. I mean, okay. First of all, they have checkpoints.
What freedom are you losing, Wesley?
They're bringing in checkpoints. Freedom to not have military troops in my streets. That's the number one freedom that I'm using. That is definitely a freedom. That is definitely a freedom. And at the same time, we act like we don't understand that once those troops are in the streets, how can they not? So you cannot turn them against the American people. So you can. If I'm being
their freedom.
So if I'm being put up with more, I have to put up with more checkpoints in my city. That's not a loss of some type of a freedom of just being able to move around like I want to, having to deal with more checkpoints, having to answer more questions, having to deal with someone who I don't want to. Do you know that now they have it so that ICE, this goes for federal troops or whoever they want to put in with ICE, can now basically say to people, you know what? We can stereotype you off of your color, off of what your appearance is, off your look. We can do that now. So that's not losing the freedom now. You act like you don't see like the all the connected dot things that happen here. We act like we don't understand that once you put troops in the streets, how easy is it to turn to martial law? Because you're used to having them there. Now all of a sudden curfew. Troops can just turn. You see how that's not a normal thing. That just didn't happen.
You are sitting there. It's a whataboutism. That's what. No, what about this? What about that? What if that? It's not happening, Wesley.
It's already happening. It's definitely already happening. We have troops in American streets right now. It's already happening.
You just got done saying the police are like the military, right? You just got done saying that.
I never said on the streets. I said like a gang. I said like a gang. It's different. Didn't say like the military. Separate. I said they try to buy weapons of war, where they try to use military equipment, but they're not like the military at all. They're police officers, and they were governed by certain laws. But then you bring in the military, they're not governed by those same laws.
They are governed by the laws.
No, they're not. Not the same ones as the police officers
are.
They're
not governed by the same laws as every United States citizen?
No, that's the military. Yes. The military does not have the same. You know that military does not have the same laws as American citizens. Yeah,
they have rules of engagement. You cannot. Rules of engagement are laws. Okay.
But they're not the same.
And they're more stringent. They're more stringent than the laws you live by on a daily basis.
They're the same laws that got 1 million people killed, 1 million citizens killed in Iraq. Those are the same laws they have rules of engagement, right?
Rules of engagement. Read them. Read them.
I'm just telling you. I mean, this, I'm pretty sure it wasn't 1 million American citizens killed, by police officers. I'm pretty sure those rules of engagement are pretty loose over there in war zones. That's all I'm saying. But I just feel like this is just a step towards authoritarianism. This is what he's bringing to the table.
No, it's not.
110%. And I don't see how you don't see that. But, you know what I mean? I don't see how you don't see troops in the streets as being leading towards dictatorship.
I look at it as you're helping out a group of people that are undermanned, overworked. That's the way I look at it, and that's exactly what it is.
Let's see where this goes.
Underfunded, undermanned, overworked.
Every city that they're naming is blue cities. Let's send them all into blue cities. Let's send them all
undermanned, underpaid, overworked. Undermanned, underpaid, overworked.
They're getting paid. A lot of these officers are making good money. They're getting all that overtime. They're making some good money out there.
They're still not making anything compared to most people.
Officers, there's got officers in California making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Cost of living there is probably a lot higher too.
I mean,
and it's probably you have to be pretty high up to make that much money as a police officer.
No, it's a lot of them. They're getting a lot of overtime. That's what it is. Their overtime that they're getting is giving them.
Yeah, but they're also being taxed 40% for that overtime.
I won't say everybody is. California has some of the lowest tax rates amongst
federal tax. Federal tax on overtime is 40%.
Wow, I thought Trump was going to fix that. When he's supposed to do something about that?
What, no overtime? Overtime?
No tax on overtime. Don't he supposed to do that?
No tax on tips.
And no tax on overtime. He said that too.
Okay, but I thought that was for certain that's for service people.
I know. I mean, tax. I don't know why. Why would it change for sir? You know what I'm saying? Like, tax on tips would be. I think tax on tips would be like more for that type of things. There's the most people service people who get tips more than everybody gets overtime too. Everyone works overtime though. Everyone does.
I don't get paid for overtime
because your salary.
Yeah.
So, exactly. It's different. Different ball game. So I mean, it matters if you work your, you work your 40, you work 60.
But if I get a bonus throughout the year, that's taxed 40%.
That's too bad. I don't like the way to hear. That's horrible to hear. The tax was way too bad.
But you know what? That's just the way life is, man.
And with that, I am your host, Wesley. This is your host, Steve. And this is Civil Discourse.
And watch out for Juicy Smoulier. Just saying.